Everybody, thanks for stopping by. Just wanted to give you an update on where I'm at with the UEV 490. Frankly, not very far. I haven't done much with it. Been taking it out and trying to enjoy it. In its current configuration, I've just got the two Kings batteries in it, the two 120s, and that's been enough to keep me going. Haven't been using the heater. And frankly, there's not much else I'm using other than the fridge. So 240 of lithium is more than enough. I've built the battery pack, the DIY battery pack that's going to go in. Just need to decide where that's going to go. Now all my wiring and etc. control panels are all just on the other side here. And I would like to keep the battery as close to that as possible. But I don't think that's going to happen. Ultimately, I'd love to be able to get the battery back in its original position in behind this door here, where one of the 120s is, and have it directly under there. But the challenge is keeping it within regulations now and having that vented and sealed in that tiny little area. It's probably just going to be impossible. Anyway, the point is I wanted to give you a quick look just at these Allpowers 200 watt flexible solar panels that I've got. Been doing a little bit of testing on those. I've had this Atempower one for well over 12 months, probably 18 months. Been buggering around with that. The original plan was to get a couple more of those to go on the roof of the 490. I wanted to order one of the 200 Allpowers, I think they're SF200 I think it is, just to see how they compared to the Atempower. The Atempower is probably about 20 bucks cheaper or so, and you'll see it is a slightly smaller panel, so it was an ever so slightly better fit on the top, certainly that back mounting point. But what I found is I think the Atempower is probably better rated as a 150 watt solar panel, because I feel that's the output that I'm getting out of that. You know, 120s, I am seeing 140s out of that. Somebody else popped up on her Facebook group and was just asking about the Atempower stuff, and I said, oh look, you know, I've got this solar panel, it's a flexible thing. I'm in the process of testing it out, but rated as a 200 watt panel, best I can get about 124 watts out of it. Done a few tests, that's just what I've got. Now I've just pulled it out today just to have a bit more of a go at it and play with it. I've got some other testing that I'm doing. As soon as I plugged this in, it went straight to 124 watts and then just stopped. And I thought, yeah, right, that's about right what I'm seeing. But I then started playing with it a little bit, just trying to get more of an angle towards the sun. And just watch what we get. So you can see I'm literally just hanging on to that with my elbow, just getting a bit more of a angle to the sun. Actually, if we go around that way a little bit, we might be able to, here we go, 141. So for me, that still makes that an average performing solar panel for me, because if I compare this to the folding solar panel that is the Blue Eddy 120 watt version that I've got, I actually got 114, I think we might have ended up with 117 out of 120. Now you can't, now look, completely different price ranges. This is a budget panel. Now your Blue Eddy, top of the wazzer. So difficult to compare those two solar panels, but this being not a folding solar panel but a flexible solar panel, I would have expected it to do better than that. I would have expected sort of, you know, maybe up that 80%, 160 watts to get out of this. Majority of my solar panels sits somewhere between that sort of 70 to maybe 85% when I've done testing folding solar panels. So to see this sitting down around the 70 is a little bit disappointing, but again, for what you pay for the solar panel, flexible, probably not too bad. I am planning on getting my hands on one of the Renogy so I can compare this, where I'm seeing, you know, 170s, 175s and 180s out of the Allpowers. I think you can see how well packaged these are. The reason I grabbed this one out of the box is one of the corners was actually damaged, so I wanted to make sure I pulled this out first. But they are very well packaged. Looks like a pretty good connection here. That doesn't look completely closed, but obviously you can pop that off. I'm assuming there is diodes in there. The other thing was, when I was looking at them on Amazon, they had discounts and all this sort of stuff, but when I actually went to the Allpowers Australia website, you get discounts the more panels you buy. So when I bought these three, I think they were around about 250 bucks a panel or something like that. I bought all three and it come down to under $700, $680 or something along those lines. So you get, I think it was about 10% discount or something like that. So go on, if you're looking at buying multiple panels, then definitely have a look at the Allpowers Australia website and have a look at their bulk discount deals. I paid for these, no discounts or anything like that. If you're looking at buying just individuals, then maybe have a look at Amazon. You might get yourself a cheaper panel if you're just buying one. So I feel these are a more genuine 200 watt solar panel output. This is closer to a 150. This thing has been thrown around the yard and dragged around for that 18 months. I use that as just an everyday panel when I need to charge something up or test something. That's what I've been grabbing out. Super light, like they're so light, just to be able to grab them, you know, throw it down on the ground like that. And I have no doubt you'll be able to do the same with these, but that's been the life of that. Now these are open circuit. I think we'll probably be able to see on the back of these. So these open circuit are a 38 volt, 39 volt, and around about 32 volt connected up. And then an ETFE coating on these as well, which is nice. You can see that dimpling. This is ETFE coating as well on the Atempower. And we are a 21 volt. So these are about a 10 volt, 11 volt higher output loaded up versus this one, and that is part of the reason why I wanted to go with these. Now these were on sale, I can't remember, $240, $250 or something like that. It's about $20, $30 more than the Atempower's, but if you buy them from Allpowers Australia, you get a discount with each one you buy. Like I said, I was going to buy just an additional one and test that against a single panel here. But when I jumped online and they were on sale on Amazon, and then I went on to Allpowers and they were even cheaper, you get like maybe a 10% discount or something like that when you buy three, and the discount gets bigger as you buy more. I'm sure that brought them down to like, I was going to say 200 bucks a panel, but it wasn't 200 bucks. Anyway, I'll put it up on the screen. But it made them the same price as the Atempower, I think, or thereabouts, very, very close. Or certainly close enough not to be worrying about the difference, and cheaper than the Amazon Black Friday sale or whatever the sale was on Amazon. So it just made sense to just buy all three of these on the spot because I wanted to do it anyway. Happy with that decision, happy with the output, and they're just a look. I don't know. I don't want to say they're a better. Yeah, look, I'm going to say it. They're a better quality panel than the Atempower. There's more bus bars. That's meant to be shingled, meant to handle shading better. But I believe the Allpowers is doing a better job with the shading. The output is certainly higher. Again, I've seen, 170 something odd watts per panel. Most I normally get out of that Atempower is around about 140. So, and you're seeing from the size, I think that's closer to a 150 watt panel, maybe 160 watt even. Be generous. Where these I think are more of a genuine 200 watt panel as far as size and output goes. And the other thing that's awesome is I just climbed up on the front of this caravan with this in one hand. Now try and do that with a fixed panel. So we do have these two corners, right, which have these pieces that come over, which are going to be throwing shadows on these panels. First we need to make sure that it's going to fit lengthwise, and you can see it's gone just up against that there, and we have about maybe an inch, maybe a few centimeters as far as spacing there. Now the problem is to fit two of these side by side, we need to slide this right over to the left, and there's our center line here, which means these are going to see some shadow in those corners. So we're going to have one here, and another one across that there. So we're pretty much going to have the whole roof covered in solar panels, but I really need to see how they perform with this coverage over here. Atempowers don't do particularly well as far as coverage goes, but I have seen reviews on these which suggest they do quite well with coverage. So we're going to lose power, we just need to find out how much. Literally, I don't think you can find a better fit. So we're currently seeing 35 volts, so we're still seeing a good voltage output. 85 watts. We still have hazing, etc. slide that forward so it's not getting any shadow on it. See how much difference that makes. 178 watts, so it's robbing me of 50%. I tell you, 178 watts out of a solar panel is pretty good. So we're definitely getting killed with that shadow. Let me just slide it back under. Let's do another read. Okay, I'm going to let it do another read because I just read 177. Now that would be lovely. It's starting to heat up a little bit, so it's starting to take longer to do these reads. Wow, 177 watts with the shadow. Now it's not terrible. So you can see currently the sun's not terrible in that corner, but it is still there. But even 162 watts. I want to connect this one because this one, the sun is off up to the left a little bit. So this is taking a bit more shade. Okay, again, the shading's more obvious over that side. A bit more cloud at the moment, but we just want to see. Yeah, so 64 watts. Again, sun intensity is picking up. Let's just drag it out so it's not taking any of that shade. Just like that. Just see how much that read changes on that panel. Just to be able to get a read now. Yeah, it really hasn't changed too much. It's gone to 67.8. That is just the conditions, not the solar panel and the shading. I think I'm about to be very, very impressed with these solar panels. 172 watts. And again, if that's all I see out of this, and these are still, I mean, look at those conditions. You can see it's overcast and, you know, plenty of cloud up there. 186 watts. I have made the right decision on these Allpowers panels. 178. Alright, let's chuck it back up there. It's under the shade, right? Now this thing might have overheated sitting up here in the sun. The sun's right behind that hazing, as you can see up there. So for you 490 owners, these panels are a perfect fit for going those corners, and I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. We just need to see how these panels perform. 172 watts, 172.5 watts. Here comes the sun now, and we've still got that shading on those corners. 165. All right, so I'm sold. I'm sold. I just needed to see, you know, over that 150 or whatever on these panels, and we've just seen 172.5 on both of them with the shade on it. Again, that shade's going to get worse over the course of the day, but what I can do is park this north-south, put the lid up, and we should get some better angles, which should improve it somewhat. 266 watts, which is around about 20 amps, give or take. That's going into that at the moment. So that's only about 130 watts from each panel at the moment. But again, we've seen 170 odd. I'm not going to expect that from the solar panels all the time. We should be seeing, I should be seeing up over 30 amps from the solar, even in these sorts of conditions. So look, even if I was saying 20 amps, I'd be more than happy with that out of that sort of amount of panels. Under those, yeah, it's not an ideal condition up on the roof, and they are flat laying, etc, etc. So go and grab that final panel, and just we'll throw it up in that back position where it's going to stay, just to make sure we've got a fit there. It's going to probably be tight there as well. So I'm just going to climb up and throw this one in that back position, and then I'll give you a look once we get up there. I don't know whether we're hanging off over the front. We are. A little bit of a lip over the back. Whether that's going to cause us any issues when we're traveling, I can't imagine it would. But look, any lip is not really going to be good. You can see those wings on the top of this van, both sides, and there's our grommets. You can see those grommets there. The one issue that I've had with these is these metal pieces that they have going through here, and I can't find the one, but you can see this one here is all bent, and the metal is just so thin you can bend it by hand. I've actually had one pop out which I've refitted, this one here, but the backing plate is inside, so I need to go and get that. But you can see these tabs, look, I mean I'm bending that by hand, and they just, the smallest bump on something and they just rip out. So I'd like to see these be a little bit firmer. I mean, I know they're just filling out that hole just to give a little bit additional rigidity, and chances are I'm not going to use that one in the middle anyway. But these things are paper thin, and I think, look, it comes down to weight. They are obviously trying to keep the weight down on these panels, and that's, you know, a good idea. But I think they need to do a little bit better job, either make the other ones thicker and have less of them, or come up with a slightly different solution. I reckon I might be able to get some tie downs, work out something to get those attached in those corners, just so I'm not just relying on sticky tape and, you know, double-sided tape and all that sort of stuff. But overall, that covers that whole roof pretty bloody well. I'm just a little bit disappointed that this one is maybe an inch wider than we want it to be. I know the Atempower fits there perfectly, but I really want to match all these panels. Anyway, we're going to leave those up, and we'll just keep an eye on them and see how they go over the course of the day. Definitely need to go with some insulation under them, because I've had these temporarily sitting on the roof of the 490 for only a week and a half, 2 weeks or something, I suppose, since I got them. They've only been on at the most on top of the roof for about a week. Yeah, and we've had some hot weather, and it's already damaged the paint up there. I'll give you a look. That is what happened to the paint. You can see that damage there, the discoloration. That has been from those solar panels sitting on that roof and just sitting directly on it. So that on its own is enough motivation for me to go and put the core flute under it. I was thinking about getting away with it. I was thinking if I could get away with it, just sticking the panel straight down. And look, the paint up there really doesn't bother me that much, but you can see the amount of heat that it's generating up there. So we definitely need to come up with a solution to insulate the panels from the roof and the roof from the panels, because that's all metal roof. So I'll be putting some heat back into those panels, and as we know, panels don't operate as well or as efficiently when they're hot, so we need to come up with something there. Again, this is for the 490 owners. As far as if you're looking at solar paneling the roof, these look like they're a pretty good fit. I was concerned that these were slightly larger than the Atempower's, and I was going to be stuck with the Atempower's. Again, I've been reasonably happy with the Atempower's as far as just a bang and throw around sort of panel. I think I only paid less than $200 for that, I think, on sale. I will admit, I have been disappointed with its output and thought it was better rated at 150 watts than a 200 watt panel. For this one, seeing that 173 with a little bit of shading on it, not ideal conditions, I'm super impressed with these. So as you've seen, I've pulled a heap of the wiring out, the shit rat's nest that was the wiring that was in the 490. I've not been in behind here, so it's going to be our first look behind this panel. I've gone and disconnected our 240 volt, obviously, from the outside, so we don't have any live power other than the batteries. And these have all just been finger tight, interestingly. Are you ready for this? Let's have a look. Interestingly, this just feels like plastic. Okay. Well, that is very interesting. Just gotta get you a look at this, so we can get you some light. This is a positive connection here, which I'm thinking might be our lights. Can you see that there? It's grounded here. And both of these are our 240 volt circuits. So one's an inverter, and the other one's obviously our 240 volt feed from inside. So I'm not super keen on that. It's a pretty shit crimp. You can see that I pulled that out. I've gone with a mic tuning switch panel in there, so I've wired a good portion of that up. I was sort of just doing it temporarily just to get it going, so I'm still going to go back in and retidy a bunch of this and redo some wiring. This makes it good to be able to see which one of these we're switching on and off. This is dimmer. Thought there was an off, so there doesn't appear to be an off option, and we can RGB just through, you know, a whole bunch of different colors. I've also pulled that front section out to run some additional lighting around. The lighting inside this thing was pretty average at best. What I want to show you is just our 240 volt lead coming in here. I want to show you that. I don't know what that is. I'm just trying to pull out enough cable to see if this, no, okay, so it's not gone through. It's not from the other side, and it's an external burn, and it's roughly where this connection has been, but I can't see any burn marks on any other wires here. It does consume that it's on the 240 volt, but you can see what they've done here. I mean, look, I don't know, and that's what you find with this. You find there's stuff running everywhere. So I've thrown in a couple of extra lights again, just off Amazon, 16 bucks I think for two. I bought 2 lots of those because I was pretty happy with those for the brightness, etc. And putting a light just up the top in the middle has made an immense difference to the lighting inside the thing. I still need to come up with a solution for that front bed area because that's very dark. I've taken the awning off the other side, the shower awning, so that's gone. Everything is running, everything is working just based off changing that switch panel over, pulling that old rat's nest out, putting the 2 120 Kings in, and then we're just rolling with that at the moment. I'm open to solutions and ideas of people who have mounted flexible solar panels on the roof of caravans. I know they just do the core flute. I think some are using Sikaflex, some are using double-sided tape. I really want a solution that's gonna be stick them down once, never coming off. I'm happy to fight with them if one of them fails and I need to pull it off, but I prefer that over having one take a ride while I'm on the freeway. I've looked on multiple websites and, you know, caravans and 12 volt stuff and all sorts of things. Lots of people are offering ideas, but whilst I appreciate that, I want to hear from somebody who's done it and has been running it and has had success. Anything that I've seen on YouTube has been somebody showing me that they've done it, but there's no follow-up. And one chick even said, oh, this is how not to. Don't follow my directions, but here's how I did it. That's of no use to me. So ultimately, I want to see somebody who's done a successful installation. It doesn't have to be a 490. Just puts flexible solar panels on core flute, mount it all down. What adhesives did you use? What double-sided tape did you use? How do you know that they're not going to come off? Wiring, obviously, I'm all good with. I just need to know how you mounted them down and had success with that to make sure that they were secure. Because you can see that I've got this 10mm bolt or 10mm threaded rod that goes all the way through my solar panel up here. That's because I had these L brackets that mounted a previous solar panel, and it come off, it ripped off because one of the bolts come loose. It literally let go on a back road and bent all of the back of this rack. So it was bolted down, and with that wind up there, it still let go. So I really need to make sure for my safety and others, those behind me, I need to make sure that I get this right. If you've got some ideas, actually no ideas, if you've done it and you've got a solution, please, please, please let me know down in the comments. At this stage, Colour Me, I think, appropriately impressed with those Allpowers solar panels. I'm really looking forward to seeing what I get out of them all connected up. I just want to give you an update where I'm at. Realise I haven't put out a video lately. I want to say g'day to everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Christmas is coming. And just let you know where I'm at with a few things. Thanks very much for stopping by. It was nice to see you again. You have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. And I will catch you on the next one, yeah?